Hello guys, we are live, right? Hello, testing.
Hello, testing,
one, two,
sound
three.
check. Welcome to
Sound
sound check. I'm LK Wong. This is a new series that we are trying to put together. Hopefully weekly, right?
Hopefully weekly we are doing our
We're
best.
talking about gear, music, and also
Music news, right?
music news. This is a bit of a virtual hang, so hope you guys can join us. Well, I mean, can you hear us clearly? Everything and all? Test, 1 2 1 2. Sound check, test.
The line is coming in nicely from from our OBS.
Cool. All right. So just like did a bit of a drum and bass kind of jam and stuff with some gear. I mean, we've got the Roland TD50 V-Drums here, fantastic kit, and I'm really loving this all new Katana 210 bass amplifier.
210 bass,
you know,
Katana
it's like,
bass.
you know, it makes me feel like I'm Billy Sheehan, but I'm not, kind of thing. So maybe we'll talk about it in the next episode, I would say. So anyway, I'd just like to recap on the past couple of weeks. I think there's been a lot of news in the music industry. I mean, Roland related and stuff. Firstly, one of the biggest thing I read about was the president of Boss Corporation, Mr. Yoshi Ikegami, has announced his retirement after about 44 years with the company or something. Man, this guy is truly like a rock legend himself, lah. I mean, he's like friends with all the rock stars and things. Being the main guy who actually developed the Roland SDE 3000 digital rack unit in the 80s, which is being used by almost everybody of the era, from Steve Lukather to Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai and all, and it's really classic piece of equipment, which is, I think currently they kind of taken the algorithms and put it into the new Boss DD500 and some of it into the latest update of the GT1000 firmware. We'll just like to wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors and all, and thank you for his contributions to the company and the products and all. And what else we have? Another thing relating to Roland is that this month of April 2022 marks the 50th anniversary of Roland itself.
Oh, 50th anniversary. Okay.
50 years of innovation. That's crazy or what? I mean, it's like always being at the forefront of pushing new kinds of products that defined certain kind of musical genres and stuff like that. I mean, if you think about it, certain products, right? I mean, things like the TR-808 drum machine, the TR-909s and stuff. These were genre defining sort of gear. Without 808s, there's no hip hop, there's no R&B, and without 909, there's no techno and stuff like that. Maybe could we get some slides to show the picture of these classic products, from the 80s and all. Yeah. All right. So classic equipment. Is it showing up yet? Okay. This is the Roland TR-808 from the 80s. Such a fantastic piece of equipment. I mean, a drum machine But like I said, the sound has been now a staple in pop music and hip hop music production and all. You hear. I don't think anybody on this earth has not heard the sound of this machine. And yeah, then we also have the next one is the what do we have, Georgie? The 909, is it? Yeah, this is the TR-909 that came out later. Without this, there's no techno music. And then some killer synths along the way that defined like the whole, during the 80s synth pop era and stuff, like the classic Roland Jupiter 8 and Juno 106 that remain a classic lah, until today, and it's been sort of like a relived in the boutique series of little sound modules that is still out in the market at the moment. So yeah, 50 years, and I think there will be some sort of celebration. We probably will be doing some stuff, so stay tuned for in the near future for maybe like some competitions or things to celebrate this great occasion. Yeah, and yeah, April 1st has already started, and I think the borders has been opened up, and we start to see like international concerts starting back again with like Justin Bieber coming, right? When was that? October or something?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not really in the loop.
So yeah, looks like things might be picking up for the music industry for us, and that's a good thing for here in Malaysia. And I really hope that the government would sort of like help out the local scene as well. I've seen a lot of people struggling, in the scene and all like that, with certain venues being, like kena kacau, it's non-stop and everything. Just come on, man. Give us a break, lah. Our local musicians also need a place to cari makan and stuff like that and all. And yeah, hopefully things will be back to normal soon, lah. Okay, so that's it about the stuff that I've been thinking. Like within the past couple of weeks or something. And today we have our guest, which is Mr. Acap Roseknight, our first guest, basically.
First guest, yeah.
So to start off this series, he is actually our drums and product specialist here at RP Distribution, and yeah, he's like. The first thing I want to ask, I think most people would want to ask is, so what's up with the Roseknight name, lah? Acap Roseknight. What's Roseknight, man? Come on, tell us.
Okay, first of all, there are many Acaps in this world, in Malaysia especially. So I want to stand out compared to the other Acaps. We have Acap Crystal, kan, the drummer for the band Crystal. And then kita ada Acap, like the band ACAB, or like sometimes pronounced as Acap. So I want to so I want to have something like a stage name macam tu lah, kan, Wong. So I thought to myself, since saya tinggal dekat Taman Mawar, so Mawar is like rose. So I want to have that kind of signature kat situ. So lepas tu saya nak something yang macam something with honor, like something like a very strong name, guys. So Night, guys. So entah Roseknight. Okay, and then I check online, there's no tak ada siapa lagi yang pakai nama Roseknight, except there's one like small band last time kot, ada dekat Amerika sana, like once macam like gig band, wedding band macam tu lah, kan, Roseknight. Itu
wedding band, okay.
I think there's like so far tak ada yang macam big names sama Roseknight, so I just put my name Acap Roseknight.
I see.
Easy for people to search lah, kan, nanti, kan.
Right. So okay, I think before you joined the company, so you were already a Roland V-Drums user, right? So I just wanted to know, like, what made you choose to purchase a Roland V-Drums as compared to the other, electronic drums in the market, lah? Could you tell us more about that? I think, yeah.
Okay, masa mula-mula beli tu, masa tu I think 2015, 2014 macam tu. So kalau sebab saya masa tu memang dah selalu pergi ke kedai-kedai muzik, kalau ada gig, kalau ada event, selalu pergi kedai muzik. And the first thing kalau kita pergi ke tempat yang digital drum is always Roland lah. Yang saya nampak ada like logo Roland, so macam dari situ pun dah nampak macam Roland ni ada like kita sendiri main. Dan saya try, sound dia sedap lah. Masa tu I think TD25 KV kot masa tu satu set tu.
Okay.
So lepas tu tapi dekat kedai tu tak ada Roland lain, dan dia adalah brand lain, macam brand N dengan brand A, and then dengan brand M lah. Aku tak nak sebut nama dia. So siapa yang tahu lah Okay, so diorang apa tu ada semua ni. So first of all yang saya suka pasal Roland is the touch lah, definitely. And also the sound masa tu is like very, sebab I think masa tu supernatural sound, so you'll be sound is like sangat 80s 90s punya, so macam like fits the song that I really like to listen. So lepas tu, tapi masa tu dia tak ada tak ada model lain, so macam I think that line up pada masa tu TD11, TD15 dengan TD30. So kami cuma tengok pamphlet je lah, so macam TD30 tu macam kira high end flagship model masa tu. So sekarang kita ada TD50. So yang set ni is TD50 KV dengan 22 inch bass drum. Masa tu TD30, masa tu yang high end dia. And saya planning for long term sebab saya akan main drum. Saya planning nak sambung belajar main drum. So saya nak satu drum set yang saya pakai for very long time, tak nak tukar-tukar lagi dah. And saya suka jenis yang macam tu lah. Saya suka beli sekali, just buy once and use it for the rest of my life lah. So that's why I pick TD30K masa tu. So TD11, TD15 is a very nice affordable drums, tapi saya nak function yang ada dekat dalam TD30 kan. And I've been using it since now lah.
Okay, cool. And like, because you just studied drums or something back in university or something, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, of course, I think pretty much you'll be like playing an acoustic drums and stuff like that. But how come did you actually think of like buying an acoustic drum before that or something to be put at home for practice? I mean, a lot of drummers tend to want to say that, you can't beat the feel of acoustic drums and stuff and things like that lah, So but instead you went for Roland V-Drums instead. So what made you make that decision actually for the home?
Okay, secara idealnya memang kalau kita nak main drum, to get the best feeling, kena main dekat drum akustik. Tapi kalau sebab saya tinggal dekat rumah teres, saya dikelilingi oleh 50 buah rumah. Jadi saya tak nak kacau semua rumah keliling ni kan, nanti kan mereka marah kan. Jadi saya fikir saya kena dapatkan something yang lebih kurang rupa macam acoustic drum, tapi dia tak bising macam acoustic drum, which is a digital drum lah. That's why saya pergi ke kedai muzik cari TD30 tu. And also kalau contohlah kan, kalau drum Roland tanpa macam like tanpa speaker, dia bunyi macam ni je. So maksudnya bila saya saya boleh practice like waktu malam ke, kalau saya tutup tingkap, jadi saya boleh practice waktu malam, saya tak kacau bapak saya tengah tidur dekat bawah, tingkat bawah. Jadi dia macam like bagi satu flexibility untuk saya nak practice, sebab kadang-kadang mood kita rasa nak practice petang, nak practice malam kadang kan. Jadi at least dia bagi kita flexibility lah. So imagine kalau kita ada, contohlah kita nak practice malam pukul 11 kan, semua orang dah tidur kan. So kita ada drum akustik. Macam mana kita nak main? Kita kena letak pad lagi, jadi letak pad getah lah something kan dekat drum akustik tu, just to mute the cymbals, mute the toms, betul tak kan?
Yeah. I mean, that will already change the feel of the the drum hits and all.
Dah tak ada rasa the bounciness, betul tak?
That's right. So I think for what you call convenience, and also you don't want the cops to be coming over to your house in the middle of the night and stuff like that, right? So I think electronic drums, these V-drums have come, pretty much is the solution for you. I think if you want to practice, I think the thing about like playing any instrument, I think you need to put in the time to practice. If you don't, first thing, if you're rajin, you can practice a lot, everything. But I think with drums, I think a little bit difficult, because you have to see certain time, when the neighbors are not sleeping and stuff like that. With acoustic drums, I'm saying lah. So I think with V-drums, I think can get you more hours on the drum kit, I think, right, to practice. Even at 3 in the morning, if you suddenly feel like practicing, you can on the headphones, but not annoying the neighbors, or nobody is not even going to know. I think your parents also probably won't know at the, in the other room and stuff. So I think it's a lot of weighing pros and cons. And I think personally, I think also like, it should be looked at as a different kind of a tool for musician, right? Same thing like, we've got a upright double bass or something, acoustic bass and electric bass or something. They're basses, but different kind of applications, and same for acoustic drums and electronic drums. You look at it as a different tool rather than just whether it sounds like like doesn't if you think it doesn't feel like the real thing or something, I think it's as close as it gets already, right? With the mesh heads and
Yeah,
stuff.
the mesh head. Sebab kita boleh tuning lagi the mesh head, so
Yeah,
to
yeah,
feel the
feel is
bounciness.
very
and
close already, lah. I think,
betul.
right? So I mean, I think, and also going back to like how electronic drums and V-drums have affected, I mean, like maybe pop culture and pop music today and stuff like that. I think it's almost impossible for any pop touring act to bring a full band with a drummer to perform purely on acoustic drums, I think.
Betul.
Right? Pop music, I'm saying, you know, you listen to the latest stuff that's on radio or the latest music, everything is all like what synthesized kind of kicks and stuff. Basically like 808s, 808 kicks and layered with synth drum sounds, synthetic kind of drum sounds and all. So you
Clap, snap.
yeah, snap, yeah, all these. Basically, if you want to replicate them live, I think you definitely need to have some sort of like electronics and I think,
Module, something like that.
modules with triggers and stuff like that. Although, I mean, you go to the concert, you might see an acoustic kit, but then when you listen to the songs being played, you know, the sounds are electronic. I mean, those are some of the things like with discrete sort of like triggers hooked up to the
Yeah,
kit,
they
right?
hook here somewhere, very small one.
A lot of artists are using Roland V-Drums and its accessories and all that. And I think the SPD SX sampling pad, that is like a de facto standard these days in pop drummers, bag of tricks, I suppose. Yeah. So I think you can't really run away from it. And yeah, who are the? I mean, do you know any of your favorite drummers who are using like V-drums and stuff like that?
The one that
the
one that I watched in, I think back then was, I think, Thomas Lang.
Right.
So I think like he did doing the V-drums competition or something like in US, right? So him and like he's playing with another Thomas called Thomas Puijian. So like that's the best like Thomas lah, you know. They really
that
play
guy is
very
crazy.
nice.
I mean, with how many 6 or 8 bass pedals or something.
Yeah, and then like he plays something like a marimba or something like with his feet, and I mean that guy is a sotong lah, basically like a squid, you know. He can play everything. So it's like
crazy.
I think he uses like 2 TD20 or TD30 modules. I'm not sure at the
then
time.
two together to make one monster kit or something.
Yeah, one
right?
monster kit.
Yeah. My favorite guy who uses the V-drums was actually the great Neil Peart from Rush. Fantastic drummer. I mean, like, looking at it, if you've got a chance to take a look at his what he called his drum kit, it was called the Time Machine, I think. It's like half of it is it's like 360 degrees full of stuff, you know. The front is like an acoustic kit, and then if he hits a pad that triggers some MIDI command, the whole stage would rotate the other way around, and then the whole V-drums kit will be like revealed to the audience. Where this is where he does his drum solo and all, you know. He can swap between the acoustic and the electronics and stuff like that, like mind-boggling stuff, I mean.
Wait, so meaning like he can trigger, I mean, like by hitting the
just
module,
hit one pad, then it will trigger something to rotate the stage.
To rotate the stage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you can do that with the digital drums.
Yeah, because everything is all just MIDI. So the beauty about MIDI is that you can assign it to any pre-mush control or anything. I think even with lighting system and all, you can actually synchronize it together and all lah. Apart from like using it with your digital audio workstation and things like that, you know. So yeah, Neil Peart. Also, I think like Anika Niles also has been seen using the TD50 and TD17 also.
Yeah, she's the face for TD17.
Yeah, TD17, right?
When it was released, yeah. And then we have like siapa tu, Omar Hakim.
Oh yes, Omar Hakim. This goes back a really long time ago story.
Wong always told me this story.
Man, I mean, the time Omar Hakim came, right? He came to Malaysia.
TD20 kan that time, man.
Years ago, yeah, using the TD20, and we did the workshop in Wisma MCA, Jalan Ampang there, and it's just 2-piece band. There was Scott Tibbs on the Phantom X8 or something, and Omar Hakim on the V-drums. Man, I mean, we were part of the tech crew, I mean, to help set up the kit and all. It's like, this guy is like such a perfectionist, man. Amazing. You know, he would know like the toms has to be like 2 hands apart distance and stuff like that and all. And he took his time to really get the sounding right and everything. I mean, one thing working with these guys, it opens up my mind and see how professional they are. And that is why they are who they are today, I suppose, with their work ethics and all. Amazing, there's no, I mean, if it's not going to sound right, he's not going to go on until it sounds right. So a lot of work, but you know, it made it. I mean, once we got it to work, everything went smoothly, lah. You know, and the good thing also about vdrums because like he would play a phrase, you know, a groove or something, and then he can record it on the module, and he goes up to the front of the stage and listen, and he'll tell the sound engineer to cut the EQ at which frequency, bandwidth, and stuff like that. You know, I mean, this is like unheard of if you're just using an acoustic drum set. You know, you just have to rely on the sound man to do the sound. You know, but with this, he can actually go in the front and listen properly and all. That was quite an experience, I would say. Yeah, Umar Hakim. And I think even some other guys. Yeah, I mean, of course, who wouldn't know Aeon, right?
Aeon, yeah.
Yeah, she's got the TD50 also, everything. You know,
TD50, yep.
Aeon from Korea, and you know, she's like, I mean, I've seen some of the old videos, and compared to the ones today, I mean, she's come a long way, lah. I mean, so clean, the playing. It's crazy, you know.
She improved a lot.
Yeah, crazy, right? So, I mean, we even have some local guys who are like using like vdrums a lot, you know, like a friend of ours. I think I know, Acap Ramli also. He's got I think a TD4,
TD4 KP, but then like he
KV. I can't remember what the spec. Yeah. So
yeah,
he
the specs,
mixes it up a bit and all, and still sounds fantastic lah over the years and
TD4.
stuff like that lah, you know. And who else? I mean, do you know any of your friends also, or like some local guys who are using? Yeah.
Who else? Yeah lah. I mean, other than me, and also I met like like some people that from the last year's VDC.
Yeah.
So I met like some of them. They're very cool people. So I mean, like they are benefiting like these drummers because they have like a drum kit at their, I think, music center.
Yeah.
So like I mean, like these people, they have that. I mean, like they can, you know, I mean, like they don't need to spend so much on the, I mean, like soundproofing, so they can just have like inside their room. Because like imagine like inside, like, you know, like the I mean, like this music center, they have I mean, like studio side by side, right? So having like an acoustic there would be like disturbing. Like let's say like the next side is like piano kan, guitar, kacau kan.
Yeah.
So
and I think like what you said about soundproofing, soundproofing actually is really some major renovation. You try and build a room in a room, putting your, you know, your eggshell. Egg tray on the wall is not going to be doing any soundproofing. You know, that one like looks nampak macam ada lah,
macam ada.
Even these like panels are just basically just for treatment. You know, it's
just to reduce the echo.
Yeah, to reduce the echo, to get a drier sound. But then, you know, if we are whacking acoustic drums here, I think the officers down the block also will be able to still hear us.
To feel the vibration and the sound.
Yeah, so you know. Yeah, I think like that's where vdrums and you know is at lah. You know, there's a lot of like advantages and stuff, I would say lah. And I think Roland has been developing these since 1997, right?
1997,
I mean, the first vdrums that came out was in 1997, and I think Umar Hakim was the first guy that in a way like an ambassador for Roland V-Drums from way back.
Yep.
Right. So yeah. I mean, what else do you want to maybe since we're on the TD50, right? I think talking about from 1997 until now, the technology has changed so much, everything, and like now the latest one now we have here is basically using different kind of like digital pads, they call it. The next level up from the previous. There is the VH
VH 14D
digital hi-hat just came out, and then there's the digital ride and the digital snare, which gives you more dynamics. Maybe you can show us a bit like how it feels, and I mean, like explain to us how it feels and a bit of a demo of the sound or something, you know.
Okay, so first of all, the size. Okay, for the size for the CY18DR, I mean, like the digital ride is 18-inch, which feels more like like an acoustic ride. So what you can do is that, so let's say for some people that likes to mute their cymbals for the for the ride, so you can hit, then you can put your hand, and it just like that, you know. Okay, so what I can, I mean, like for like let's say in the like jazz setting, you want to have like the like really nice washy ride, you know, something. Okay, so you can do that by just putting your hand.
Crazy, amazing.
I mean, something like that, you know.
You can do all your body reach kind of stuff.
Something like that. So it goes to all the bell and also like the edge as well. Okay. So for the for the snare, which is the PD 140DS, like something yang saya suka is that kita tak perlu nak letak apa, kalau dulu kalau like TD30 saya ke rumah kena tekan butang and then lepas tu untuk activate kan dia punya acoustic. Tapi yang ni saya letak tangan. So tak perlu nak tekan butang lagi. Jadi kalau secara like apa, kalau main drum akustik kita secara automatik kita akan buat macam ni kan. Kita tak perlu tekan butang. Kalau kalau kita tekan butang nanti kan, kalau contoh yang pad lain kita tekan butang, lepas tu kalau nak tukar pada rim shot balik dia akan tiba tercrossstick kau.
Okay.
Jadi yang tu akan jadi satu susah untuk saya lah. Like kalau saya main live
I think
atau saya main,
you just need to get used to it a bit.
Yalah, just tekan like tengah main tu tekan off off or on kan.
So now for this new generation of the V-drums, the TD50 and all, you don't need to change anything the way how you play.
Lagi lah, tak fikir.
Actually from TD27 upwards, I think
TD27 and upwards,
this technology, right?
Yeah, betul. And also dia punya apa, the sensitivity kita boleh main macam contoh kalau kita main like like the drum roll kan. Like the softer pun kita boleh dapat, yang soft dynamic pun kita boleh dapat. Okay, kalau kita hit like contoh kalau kita hit dia punya apa dekat dengan edge, kita akan dapat that twangy sound. Bunyi dia lagi twangy, atau kalau kita hit dekat tengah dia lebih rounded sound dia kan. Okay, so like pad ni dia boleh tahu kalau kita rim shot betul ke tidak, sama macam drum akustik juga kan. So like the hi-hat, okay, like the size for the like pad like PD 140DS is 14 inci. So sama macam like most standard snare kat luar sana 14 inci. And also the hi-hat, now kita go to the hi-hat, like the newest release VH14D. So size dia pun sama macam yang most standard size untuk hi-hat, which is 14 inci 14 inci juga. Okay, so selain daripada like dia sama dengan ride and also like the snare, dia lebih lebih sensitif. Kita boleh dapatkan yang very like kalau kita tutup hi-hat ni, kita dapat yang paling ketat pun kita boleh dapat. Ada kita boleh dapat yang kalau hi-hat tu kalau kita compress dia kita dapat. Kita dapat all the small little
nuances and all
small little nuances kita boleh dapat dah dekat
crazy. That's what kind of magic they are using. I also don't know. I mean,
dia boleh detect like how much you compress it kan. Dia boleh detect.
So I mean, technology has come so far. I think these days and all, it's amazing what you can do with this kit. The sample import also you can do and stuff like that, so you can even like get even more sounds into there and stuff.
Layering, so you can layer like two sounds.
That's right. And I mean, like I said just now about the pop drum, pop band, backing band and stuff like that, a lot of them are using the hybrid kits as well. So getting the best of both worlds, they're playing like an acoustic drums, but at the same time they have like some pads, like the Octapad or SPSX on the side to access certain sounds, or even like using the Roland RT triggers, RT30 series triggers on some maybe the rim or the tom or something like that to trigger sounds, or even blending acoustic and electronic sounds together. That gives you a lot of options, I think. You can check out things like the TM2, TM6 trigger
TM1
modules and stuff that's available as well. And I think it just gives you, as the drummer, the musician, more palette of sound. I mean, like a wider palette of sounds to choose from. Before this, always like guitarists all get all the fun. You got all your pedals, 40 over models of like Boss pedals and stuff. You can use it. But the drummers are always just like down to whatever kit they can use, right? So now you have all this option, So I think it's a lot of it like it's down to you, the user, to sort of like think of creative ways of how to utilize them in a musical kind of manner, and stuff. So I think is there anybody, any questions, anything or something? Do we see anybody saying anything? No? Okay. So I think we will talk a bit about the next week, if it's on. I think next Wednesday maybe we'll talk about this baby here, the Boss Katana
Oscar 210.
210 bass amplifier has just been launched, and we will have special guest Georgie, to the real bassist, not me. You know, I'm just like messing around to talk and play a bit on the bass amp, and maybe we'll talk about bass players. You know, call your bass players friends to join. You know, we would like
Wong
to
semua
have
boleh, Wong keyboard boleh, nyanyi pun boleh
saya semua bantai,
Menari
main,
boleh,
main
menari.
tipu je semua. So you know, it's like you fake it till you make it lah. Nah, just kidding. You know, I love music, man. I mean, so you can talk to me about anything. You know, you want to talk to me about samplers, you want to talk to me about synthesizers. You know, go ahead, man.
Drum pun boleh kan Wong
Drum
kan?
pun boleh. Yeah, I love drums, man.
Drum.
Yeah.
Tu Wong pun pernah buat demo drum tau sebelum ni.
That one is I'm
Whole
always
story.
the last resort lah. You know, when there's nobody else, then I have to do.
Tu macam tu.
So thank
Oh,
you
and
all.
also Jumaat ni, Jumaat ni.
Oh yes, forgot.
Yes.
Very important.
Very important,
Yes,
penting
I wanted
sangat
to ask Acap also. I noticed that every Friday you're doing some live stream on our RAP Facebook, right? To do with vdrums and stuff. So what's up with those live streams, and what's the concept actually? What is it supposed to be? You know? Yeah.
Okay, so the concept for hari Jumaat, kita nak cakap tentang vdrums because saya drummer dan saya juga fanboy untuk vdrums. Saya dah pakai vdrums for more than 10 years, and saya dah follow macam tengok apa yang ada like the new for vdrums. So saya nak share passion saya terhadap vdrums, terhadap main drum actually, not for vdrums, not just for the vdrums, but more on drumming. Macam mana saya nak macam mana saya pakai like bunyi-bunyi daripada vdrums ni, the sound, macam mana saya tuning, macam mana saya dapatkan that sound yang saya nak tu lah kan. So untuk minggu ni saya akan cakap more on macam mana saya practice dengan vdrums. So kita ada banyak function dekat dalam TD50 dan saya akan pakai TD50 juga untuk minggu ni. So kita ada like the coaching function, kita ada metronome. So like jenis like metronome, how fast, dan apa rutin saya practice, apa yang saya selalu practice untuk capai level yang saya sampai sekarang ni lah. Kan? Apa tu all the chops, not really chops lah, tapi macam how to build the solo ataupun like feels, things like that lah. So kalau drummer kat luar sana, if you want to know more tentang how to improve your drumming, so check out like Jumaat ni, dan kita juga akan share video ni to all siaran ulangan.
Yeah.
Kita akan share dekat like since live ni akan direkod juga kan. So you can check out like this video lah.
Yeah. So I guess you guys, if you are interested to know more in detail kind of stuff about the vdrums thing, Acap's going to go like a deep dive session on Fridays, every Friday, and this Friday is like you said about playing. I mean, using the coach functions and stuff.
Utilizing all those things, silent practice and something like that.
So yes, practice so important. You know, like in drummer, guys, you got to learn how to play with a click. If you don't,
click betul.
That makes you such a lot more precise and a steady drummer lah. And the band will only can sound tight if you are very steady lah. So there's no two ways about it but to practice lah. Okay. So all right, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody who's watched this live stream, and
thank you Georgie juga sebab tolong
thank you, Georgie,
kita
for helping us with the video
setup
stuff
ni.
and all, and so I think we will catch you in the next session.
Selamat berpuasa kepada yang Muslim.
Yes, selamat berpuasa and salam Ramadan, and we'll see you hopefully next Wednesday as well with the Katana Bass 210 and Georgie. Yeah.
Okay, jamming. 1, 2, 3.